Hello everyone, today we have an Iron Lad Patriot deck, and this is one that comes in and out of the meta, and sometimes it does well, sometimes it's just not worth running at all. And last weekend when it was the featured mission, I had a horrible time running any kind of Patriot build. But since then the meta has kind of shifted, we are leaning a lot more towards Spider-Man lockdown, into storm plays. Bounce is still around, but that's why we have the Killmonger teched in to take out some of their high roll. We also have the Shang Chi for those big high roll decks. And overall, this is an adaptation of the Iron Lad Patriot that has a couple of counter tools to make sure that it's not completely derailed by certain matches or unfavorable matches. And overall, it still has the big power plays of the Patriot, the Blue Marvel, the Doctor Doom, or Ultron, but it takes out some of the higher rolled hidden power plays in the Iron Man and the Onslaught. Those could really elevate one lane, but a lot of times I found that it was hard to have those competing priorities of not knowing necessarily which one you should grab, and this does make Iron Lad a little bit less consistent in this version, but I still think he is absolutely critical and pivotal in giving this that extra reach that it needs. You can either use that into an open lane if you have both Brood and Mr. Sinister left in your deck, or you can hide it behind your Invisible Woman to potentially get the Shang Chi, the Killmonger, Blue Marvel, whatever it is that you might be needing. And so we're going to be jumping straight into a gold conquest run with this today. See if we can take it all the way through. All right, we waited a little while, but first up we have Anya. And you guys seem to enjoy the puppy cam, so there's the puppy herself in the background. And ignore my daughter's doctor kit. I was afraid to move it, because then the puppy may leave. So the first location is Asgard. They have a Kitty Pryde, so Invisible Woman into Killmonger would be big. Or if they have priority on one of the turns, maybe we can sneak a Killmonger in early to get some value on them. Now, we also have our Patriot. We have Mystique, which this version does go back towards. For a while with Iron Lad Patriot, I took out the Mystique because it just felt really clunky and bad to hit whenever you weren't intending to. But with the proper play, it can be still beneficial. So they do the Kitty Pryde. Oh my gosh, Luke's bar is tough. We have initiative because of our Invisible Woman. Let's go ahead and do the Brood. You know what? We're gonna wait. I don't necessarily know how we win this one. We can win Luke's bar pretty easily, but how do we win Asgard or one of the other locations is my biggest concern, because Ultron only will fill this one up. It fills this one up a little bit. We're gonna need something like a Killmonger, I think, to be able to make this happen. They are gonna get the extra draw. Shang Chi might not be bad, but do we want to go ahead and hide it? No, we're gonna go ahead and play Brood into Luke's bar. That way we can get some power there. We'll have an extra turn to decide if we want to hide the Shang-Chi or not, because this real estate behind Invisible Woman is so important to finding a way to win. And so they have the Kitty Pryde again. They have Silk. Silk is big at bouncing around the board, but it could accidentally cap them out in the Space Throne, and then that gives us an opening to play something like Ultron, which is could be pretty big. Let's hide the Shang-Chi. I think we're confident in this one. I just don't want to snap back quite yet. And this is a beautiful Silk, by the way. Like, Silk is Silk is probably one of my favorite cards, because if you use it well, you could really create some pretty cool advantages for yourself. You can get into those hard to reach locations, but it can also be somewhat of a liability in locations like Fisk Tower, if you aren't able to and don't have a low enough curve to control it. We're gonna hide the Shang-Chi. Because they play two more cards here, and then Angela will be within range. So I assume that they do. Oh, they have a Brood of their own? What kind of deck are they brooding? Well, not my best work. So the Brood is super interesting. So last turn, we did draw a Killmonger, so we can drop the Killmonger. We have the Shang-Chi, the Killmonger. We have the Patriot here. And so I think we go Brood. We get one more Broodling here. We do Wasp. That's only going to be 3. But if they play their 1-cost card here, then we're okay. I honestly have no idea what kind of deck they're running, but I think we're going to be able to pop this left and right location. I'm not going to snap back. I don't want to scare them off. I want this one to play all the way through. And so we will get... I'll take the 4 over the 2 any day. because this is where our big kind of last turn play happens. And Invisible Woman makes those plays such a headache for the opponent, not knowing what is hidden behind that location. So this could be an Onslaught and an Iron Man for all that they know. Ooh, Silver Surfer is interesting. They did use their Kitty Pryde in the Space Throne, so our Killmonger is going to swing that one back in our favor. Even if we don't quite win Luke's bar, we will win mid, and I think we also win Luke's bar because we pushed their Silk. No, their Silk will bounce again. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to pop the Angela. Okay, whew. We're going to pop the Angela. We're going to do Killmonger. That's going to destroy their Kitty Pryde. We win left and mid. What a brew that they're cooking. The Brood and Silver Surfer seem like really heavy curves for a Silk. Maybe it's a Sera deck. Maybe they run Sera to like really flood some of these on the last turn and we just didn't get to see that portion of it. I don't know. We'll take the 4 cubes early. I guess not cubes, bars of health. I don't really know what to call it. I always catch myself calling it cubes. We'll take the 4 bars early and see if we can hold this one through. So Atlantis, they have Bast. Okay, so it is a relatively low curve. I could still see the Sera, like a Sera Flood, but Bast offsets the Silk potentially. It's kind of wild as a choice. Now Silk here gets pretty big. Their Brood here gives them that extra reach. This is pretty decent. Ooh, Wakandan Embassy is beautiful for the little Broodlings, and they have initiative. Do they worry about our Killmonger? Let's go ahead and do Brood. Let's see if they are tentative, if they play their Kitty Pryde or not. Oh, Jean Grey. Okay, so it's a Jean Grey control deck of sorts. Do we think they have a way to? We think they have like an Enchantress? I feel like they don't. I don't know, but I really don't know. I think we're just gonna hang our Patriot. We can hang Patriot. We always have the Wasp to get a free play so we can maneuver into a different location. We also have Ultron to fill up these other locations. So honestly, all we have to do is play into 2 and we'll be perfectly fine. If they play one more card into the Wakandan Embassy lane, then we'll be able to Shang Chi it. And so great value there. I do wish we could hide this one this turn, but that's fine. Let's go Killmonger this turn. They have initiative. If they play, they have to play. They'll buff up the Angela above that range. We'll have to play back again in Wakandan Embassy on the last turn. We can do a Wasp and an Ultron maybe as our play. Maybe a Wasp and an Ultron here, giving us a 15 power Ultron in the left lane. That may be the play that we go with. Okay, never mind. That's not the play we're going to go with. We will take the 1 cube. They are down 5 bars of health. Let's see if we can pull this one the rest of the way through. I've been using some really quirky decks, and they haven't all been functioning against every opponent. Like some it'll match into very well, and then others it just does abysmally into. And so it is nice to have one that seems to be doing well into just about every matchup I can imagine so far. So they snap. The Silver Surfer is big here. Actually, I'm just gonna we might be able to hold this one down with like the Invisible Woman, the Shang Chi, the double Doctor Doom, all fantastic in Camartage, but they have 2 cards that would greatly benefit in Camartage that I'm somewhat worried about, that I don't really, for 1 cube, I don't think we even worry about the headache of. So the Silver Surfer and the Hit Monkey, both would be massive in Camartage. Silver Surfer buffing the board, and then Hit Monkey just giving a high power to that lane, so we would have to hover our Shang-Chi behind the Invisible Woman in the Camartage lane. It just becomes kind of tough to navigate. And for 1 cube, I'd rather set up for a little bit more ideal of locations. So they play Bast on 1 into the Space Throne. Gotta wind it up a little bit, and we'll snap. That is unfortunate, my friend. We do have Killmonger, but they don't. I'm certain they're not running Falcon. Maybe they have a Beast to bounce some of these back in. I doubt it. That'd be 4 3-cost cards, which is pretty high curved. And maybe they do. That way Silver Surfer could buff it, but it seems unlikely. And so we did take advantage where we could. We took that 1 bar of health right back. The left lane, do they have any heavy ongoings? Not that we've seen so far. They have Bast again. That's some good some good early basting. Dream Dimension will make our play a little clunkier, not necessarily theirs. Let's go Mr. Sinister. We can always go Iron Lad on 5. We wouldn't be able to do Blue Marvel. Would be the only thing that we'd be restricted from. They do have their Kitty Pryde, so Bast and Kitty Pryde on, like, in their opening hand was phenomenal. We do have the Blue Marvel, which would have been meant. Why are we playing into Onslaught Citadel? We have the ongoings in this game. We want to take advantage of the Onslaught Citadel. And then I throw Mr. Fantastic there. What are we doing? It's late, guys. I'm going to blame it on being late, but honestly, it is what it is. Okay, so Iron Lad has a 1 out of 5 chance to hit Patriot. It has a better chance to hit just about everything else. Do we even use the Iron Lad? I mean, if not, we're looking pretty rough here. I think we use it as a Hail Mary, see what it hits. We're hoping for Brood. Iron Lad hitting Brood is just chef's kiss. So the Kitty Pryde comes down. Still comes down. If it hits Killmonger, that's fantastic. Ultron would be the low roll. Killmonger is fine. We take out the Bast. We take out Kitty Pryde. They no longer have those tools to buff up their Bishop. We are perfectly fine with that. The Dream Dimension makes it where they can't play their Sera, which I'm fairly certain this build would have. I haven't ever faced a deck like this, but I would imagine, looking at the cards they have, they want to be able to flood on the last turn. Anytime you see Hitmonkey, Sera kind of goes hand in hand if you're not seeing very much wave. Sera is fantastic at elevating your reach on the last turn, but we will take it. They're down to 2 bars. Let's see if we can hold this one through. I don't know if they have any counter tools. And I've noticed that this season, a lot of decks have started going away from those Shang Chis and Enchantresses, and that can be detrimental from time to time. Now, their Silk into the Sanctum Sanctorum, phenomenal. But we could have Ultron. Dr. Doom plus the Patriot is also fine. What if we did Mr. Sinister, Patriot, Mystique, Dr. Doom? That's my tentative line. We get a lot of presence in this left lane, and they do have Silk. They haven't seen any of our big in games, and so they don't necessarily know that we'll be able to outscale this. If it's just the Silk, that we'll be able to outscale it there. We're still going to play for Vibranium Mines, Patriot, and then Mystique on 4, something on 5, and then Dr. Doom on 6. And this is for Max, and so we'll see it play out either way. But I think we're perfectly fine here. They do play into the Vibranium Mines, which is interesting. They're forcing us to fight for that location. Now, if they have an Enchantress, we're at a big disadvantage. Otherwise, we're perfectly fine. We're just going to do Mystique here, and then we'll see. You know, with all the bugs from Killmonger, I wonder if he destroys Vibranium. I doubt it, but he also shouldn't kill Miles Morales, and he does. Which is why I'm not running any movement decks for a while. Killmonger is very common right now, and him destroying Miles Morales is so devastating. Ooh, Blue Marvel is actually huge. I didn't know what we were going to play on 5, but we just found out. And so Blue Marvel, Dr. Doom, it still hangs very heavily on them not having an Enchantress. They beasted the monster back in. I don't quite know why, but we'll be fine. That's fine. If they play it back down here, it's fine. If they play it here, they can have the Vibranium Mines, honestly. Let's go ahead and drop it. They could do a Cosmo. We've seen all of their deck now except for 1 card, which may be Chavez, but Chavez with the last turn Flood doesn't make a lot of sense. They do drop the monster over there, and that's not where we're fighting for. The Hitmonkey is not going to be big enough, and we are going to be able to outscale them in mid from that Silk with our double Patriot plus Blue Marvel. And so we are going to hold that one and bring it the rest of the way home. Without much issue. We're going to go ahead and take it. Let's jump straight. We'll see the animation play, and then we'll jump straight into battle number 2. See if we can breeze through all 3 battles with a Sleepy Puppy. That's the goal. The Sleepy Puppy always leaves me. Let's see if we can get all the way through before she leaves. All right, queuing up for battle number 2. If we make it all the way through and the Sleepy Puppy does not leave and you guys are still around, I'm not going to force you to do anything, but consider subscribing. If you're enjoying the content and you made it this far, if you're enjoying the puppy cam, make sure to subscribe to let me know you're enjoying it. Next up, we're going to have Detonator. The first location is Elysium, which is wild for a game. especially a game one where we have no idea what kind of deck the opponent's running. We're going to slow play it. Hopefully get our Invisible Woman to hide. Oh my gosh. If Mirror Dimension turns into Elysium, all of the cards are double reduced. That would be such a cheap game. I think we would both just flood most of our stuff on the last turn because Brood, Patriot, Mystique all would be 1 cost. And so we could do a lot of damage. Okay, so Storm. They go ahead and storm the right lane. Mirror Dimension is going to copy it. Ooh, which could be scary, right? If we didn't have a way to go wide, that could be incredibly, incredibly scary. Now, if they have a Spider-Man, that's also kind of scary. If this gets a double lock. Otherwise, we'll snap into it. We're going to do the Brood, and right now, from what I've been seeing and what is incredibly common, I imagine they would relate that to a Silver Surfer deck. We're not quite a Silver Surfer deck, though. And so, what is this middle location? Flooded location. Oh my gosh, that is brutal. So, Cerebro 2, potentially? Like, they can move their Nightcrawler over. That's 2, but we have the Ultron that can flood. And so, what if we did... skip this turn. Next turn, Patriot plus... Ooh, wait. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do Patriot and Mystique this turn. That way we have the option to do Ultron on 5, just in case they have Spider-Man. Because we've seen 2 cards. It is 2 power each, but that's not enough to convince me that it's Cerebro 2 yet. We'll see, but that's not enough to convince me. High Evolutionary. Whoa. With Nightcrawler, we don't think they'd run a Killmonger, right? Because Killmonger is going to be more power in this lane, and it's going to be more power here. I'm anticipating the Spider-Man lock here. I guess we're going to go Ultron? No, they don't Spider-Man lock. Okay. I still don't think they have a Killmonger, though. That would be the biggest piece. That is a massive Hulk, my friend. That is a massive Hulk you have there. Oh my gosh. We can Iron Lad, potentially pull a Shang Chi and just decimate this lane too. Okay. We do get the retreat. Had I been certain that they didn't have a Spider-Man to lock down that one location, I would have held Ultron for that surprise factor to try to get 4 or 8 cubes out of them. But since we didn't know, and Spider-Man is so common, especially in like a Storm High Evolutionary build, I wanted to get the power out early while I could. We will take the 2 cubes against High Evo, though. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. This Nightcrawler still kind of takes me off guard, though. Oscorp Tower, we don't have anything that we want to send their way. Some decks have some pretty cool stuff, like if you have a whole bunch of like really low-cost junk, you can do a Hood here. You can just send them some unfortunate things. Ooh, Onslaught Citadel is big, but that's a very big target for them to do a Storm in. I think we Invisible Woman into the last location, anticipating it, encouraging them to do a Storm over there rather than in mid, because I don't think they have an Enchantress. They might, but I don't think their build typically does. We could hide the Killmonger, but then if they do lock us out of this location, we wouldn't be able to do Ultron without destroying our little guys. And so let's go Mr. Sinister. We're not going to be able to get good benefit out of the Stark Tower lane. We're going to go Mr. Sinister, and then we'll see. I think, oh no, it's a Cyclops. Okay. But the good thing is with Invisible Woman, Cyclops is only going to have 1 target. That's all he'll be able to have. Do we go Iron Lad here? Actually, I think we just go Patriot. I think anything else is overthinking it. Patriot, if they storm that right location, we can always throw Mystique. I think we're okay. Like, I don't think we need to be greedy and get the double reduction here. But we will be greedy and try to Iron Lad it, though. Because we can either hit Doctor Doom. It would cap out Stark Tower, but that would be fine. We could hit Blue Marvel. That would be marvelous. We could hit Brood. Great. Wasp would be the only one that would be potentially unfortunate, and even that isn't the worst because then it gets buffed up by Patriot. Professor X in Oscorp Tower is big. Unfortunate. Doctor Doom comes down a second too late. Well, it is what it is. Actually, that may not be it is what it is. We didn't leave any space. What are we doing? You guys, don't roast me in the comment section down below. We lost our puppy. You guys don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. We played this one so poorly. The Mr. Sinister behind Invisible Woman was questionable. Not playing Patriot into mid, questionable. There was just a lot of questionable acts here. Shang Chi definitely couldn't grab what we needed to grab, so we're gonna retreat out of this one. Put our game faces on. We want to make it all the way through this one. I did play a few, and I was trying a lot of off builds and ended up losing a lot in round 2 and round 3 yesterday. That's why we didn't have a video. I ran about 3 individual gold runs, lost in either battle 2 or battle 3, and it didn't feel like the deck, not with this deck, with a different brew that I was working on. It just didn't feel good enough to showcase, and so we took an off day. Washington DC is big for all of our vanilla cards. We do have both Patriot and Mystique, and we have Ultron, so that's the perfect trio here. It's not a huge amount of power here, but it's huge here and here. Necrosha is awful, but it's fine. It's fine. We don't need it to be good. I think we just stack the 3. We don't just stack the 3. All right, so we'll get the Patriot, the Mystique. Now, they could use a Juggernaut. I don't think they run a Juggernaut, but they could. Okay, so they use Thing. Thing is fine. We might be able to get a Doombot here. That would be big enough. We draw into Brood, so let's go ahead and do Brood and then Mr. Sinister. We could try for the Iron Lad to pull like a Doctor Doom, but I think we do this. This is 1, 2. This is going to make both of these just incredibly big. The Professor X lock. Ooh, Professor X lock in either of these locations is big as well. All right, and they snapped on us on turn 5. We know that they are leaning towards Professor X a lot of times. If they're not, this play looks silly. If they don't Professor X into Vormir, Iron Lad here looks awful. But if we did Mr. Sinister there, then it's not going to expand. We have no way to get vanilla cards because it would lock before the honor reveal happened. Beautiful. Beautiful. Sometimes snapping into something gives your master plan away. And we get Blue Marvel out of it, which is beautiful. We will absolutely take the Blue Marvel. We will absolutely take the advantage in Vormir. Ultron's not fantastic, though. So we have Blue Marvel. That means this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's 2, 4, 5, 6. So 10? If they do a Doctor Doom, we lose this lane. But otherwise, we should be fine. We're going to go with just the Ultron. I think they outpower us with the Hulk. We could have tried for the Shang Chi, but I think the Ultron is going to be a little bit more reliable for us. Once the Patriot and then once the Mystique reveal, that should give us the advantage that we need. Being able to get the Professor X read was beautiful. And we only did it. That was not what we were going to go with. We only did it because they snapped, kind of drawing our attention to the fact that they had a power play on turn 5. And so we will take the 4 bars of health. That gives us a substantial lead. Let's see if we can bring it the rest of the way home. Expansion in the left lane. But we'll go to the Expansion Casino. That is the first time we're seeing Nebula, but we have Killmonger, so we're not too worried about making sure it doesn't scale. I do think we play maybe our Mr. Sinister over there. We don't know what that location is going to be. Maybe it turns into Altar of Death, and we can't really play power there very easily. No, it turns into Shadowland. Wow. The only other 1-cost card that they have so far is Nightcrawler. I think we go ahead and just play our Killmonger. We don't have Patriot, we don't have Mystique, so we're looking for another alternative line. Our overall opening hand is really weak. It does have a strong end game with either Ultron or Doctor Doom or even Shang Chi, knowing that they have the big Evo Hulk, which has still been pretty substantial. Like, I know that he accumulates his power differently now, but he has still been incredibly impactful. So they do double stack in the right lane, but just in case I don't think they have a Cosmo or anything that could block it, we're going to go ahead and Killmonger over there. It's weird that they decided to double stack over there, because that would have capped them out. We do have the Maria Hill, which gives us Morbius. Not that we're going to use it. They get Daredevil. Daredevil for the Professor X read is wild. You guys, absolutely wild. Let's see if we can have enough of an advantage in all of the locations to make good use of that. We're going to do Iron Lad. The only bad flip would be Mystique. Everything else is perfect. for the turn 5 play. They do play over there. Professor X in... Okay, well, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out how you need it to. We definitely have the Mystique, though. I'm going to do just this. If they snap, we retreat. We don't have a good line here. Some unfortunate things happen. We don't have a good line. We also didn't draw into Patriot or Blue Marvel or Invisible Woman to hide our cards for like later on. It's definitely not our shining game. They haven't snapped though, so like if they're willing to stick it out, see where Iron Lad bounces over into, we're protected from the Professor X everywhere but here. If they don't snap, I think it's worth at least seeing this turn play out. So they do play this one out without snapping, which is wild to me. Like at that point, I feel like you either snap or let it go, unless they're trying to bait us into one extra cube. So they win this location. We have no way to compete for it either. Well, they could just throw a... I mean, yeah. They just throw a big power play here, and then they win. So we're going to go ahead and retreat. I'm not even going to risk the one extra cube. We'll take the one loss from time to time. Let's jump into the next one. We're eyeballing those last 4 bars of health. If we get a good opening hand, we can snap and then make it an all-in game. We got to get our Invisible Woman. We do have Blue Marvel as well, so good start so far. But definitely not enough to snap into. Also, while we have some downtime, can we talk about the season pass avatar, the Phoenix Force one? I don't know. That one doesn't look fantastic to me. I've seen better. So we're gonna go ahead and play Invisible Woman into, I guess, the Nebula lane. We don't have a great hand. Luckily for us, we're gonna shuffle it back in. And then we can start looking at stacking. So with the Cyclops, they're looking to negatively afflict the Nebula lane where we would typically play our cards and start focusing on. Oh, Killmonger's good here. We're fine with Killmonger. Let's hide the Killmonger. I'm going to go ahead and do Brood. I got to slow down. I'm going to go ahead and do Brood. We'll let the Nebula scale, especially since we do have our Killmonger. Well, but 4 or 5. Ooh, that location becomes a little tough to navigate. Especially if they float very much. I mean, Patriot plus Mystique, or just Patriot. But we only have vanilla cards in a couple of the lanes. Does this win this location, though? I don't think it does. The 4, 5, 6, I think they do something else here. We would have to rely on like an Ultron, and that doesn't feel great. Let's go Patriot into the flooded lane. We won't be able to do Mystique. I guess we could, right? No, that it still comes down to us not winning this location. 4, 5, 6. No, we still wouldn't win it. I was thinking we could do Mystique behind the Invisible Woman and then make sure Patriot was the last card we played next turn. But since we don't have any vanilla cards that can reach there, it wouldn't be great. Okay, so they use Thing. They negatively impact our Broodlings, unfortunately. Oh, this is not good. Iron Lad and hope for something good. We could Iron Lad and hope for not Mr. Sinister. Their line's not great either. And we do have a couple of chances to win, right? Blue Marvel would be big. Doctor Doom potentially, Ultron potentially. I don't think it's worth it. It is unfortunate because I don't think they have a good hand either. But I think ours is worse. All right, we're still ahead, but not by anywhere near as much. We were in a much better spot earlier on. We just need an opening. Sanctum Sanctorum is good unless they have a Storm and a Spider-Man or a Storm Professor X. It becomes kind of scary because then we can't go wide nearly as easily. And so then it comes down to these 2 lanes and we're not... Ooh, District X is not terrible for us. We already have the Doctor Doom, so we can impact multiple lanes or the Ultron. We have Claw, which is a decent... like. Either draft or random card. Have the Mysterio. Ooh. And then Savage Land comes down, so this is almost blocked for him. We could do Killmonger, but it gives them the same value as it gives us. Let's do Moon Knight. If it hits Doctor Doom, oh no, that's unfortunate we have Ultron. If it hits Ultron, oh no, it's unfortunate we have Doctor Doom. Maybe we can entice them into a snap. And so they lose High Evolutionary. We lose our Ultron. And I think we... Maybe we... Can we bait snap them? I don't know. I don't know that that's worth it. Let's do the Iron Lad. The Mad Lad himself, Iron Lad. We could do Killmonger to clear up space. We take out their Yondu, take out the 2 Raptors, but it doesn't give us a lot of added benefit. And so Iron Lad is going to be a little bit more power. So 3, this would give us a 5 power increase on the board. Iron Lad gives us at least 6. There's some potential bad rolls that it could pull into, like MODOK. MODOK would be awful. I would cry. I really expected it to be the MODOK there. Let's go Claw to impact this lane and this one. And then we have Doctor Doom to impact all 3 locations on the last turn. And they snapped last turn. We're going to snap into it, see if we can pressure them. Because if they accept this snap here, then it's all in. It's all in for them, all or nothing. But it also encourages them, I don't know. It encourages them to have to make that decision now rather than later. Okay, so the Abomination's not huge. I mean, he's big, but he's not that huge. We still have the lead here is what I mean. Doctor Doom, where do we need the extra power from Doctor Doom? Depending on which one the real Mysterio is, we could potentially lose. But we get the easy scam in Sanctum Sanctorum, and so that's what I'm going to rely on. They only play 1 card, being the Doctor Doom as well. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, we win that one, but oh man, that was a surprise that they thought that's probably why they stayed when we snapped, is they had the Doctor Doom to rely on. They knew we lost our Ultron from the discard, or they probably knew we lost our Ultron, and we did have the Doctor Doom for that backup. We will take the win in 6 rounds versus the High Evo Control deck, and so any deck that is greedy and wants to run Storm right now, Patriot does pretty well into. And so we're going to go ahead and take the battle to win, see if we can bring this one all the way home. The first one was pretty easy. The second one was a little bit more back and forth. Let's see if we can just blow this third one out of the water. Jumping into the next one. Let's see if we can bring it home. All right, next up we have Prometheus for our final big bad. Our opening hand does look pretty promising here. We have the Patriot, the Mystique, and the Doctor Doom. Now they are running a Thanos list. I think Thanos Destroy has become a little bit more common. But Scam Thanos is also very, very prevalent. So they snapped after the Crimson Cosmos, which is tough, but I mean, it's not unwinnable. They'll have Reality Stone, so they can change a location. We have and they have Nebula. So it doesn't look like they're going to go full on. It doesn't look like they're going to go full on Destroy. This is probably more so Scam Thanos, something that wants to ramp into a Professor X. And so with the Brood here, we're going to make sure to tell them not so easy, not so fast. They stormed the Lechugia, which is, oh my gosh, that is big. Because we won't be able to get our buffs down, is why I mean it's big. We can do the Brood here. We can do Iron Lad here, Doctor Doom here, but we won't be able to get Patriot or Mystique down. Now, we could forego the second Brood in favor of like a Patriot. That way we buff here and eventually buff here. Let's do that. They could still have the Scam Thanos here. We're gonna go Patriot and Wasp. That's my read. That's my read, and we're sticking to it. We're gonna snap back as well. The Patriot Wasp. Iron Lad is gonna give us exactly what we need. Ultron, fine. Blue Marvel, perfect. Invisible Woman, can take it or leave it. Mr. Sinister, beautiful. All of those, fantastic. We would be glad to take any one of those. They do hit our Doctor Doom, so we can't go wide that way. Beautiful Spider-Ham variant, and I actually, on my alternate account in the caches, I pulled the Dan Hip one, which is also one that I think is really, really cool. So they do have the Daredevil read here, so they know what we're going to play, but they don't know what it's going to hit. The Iron Lad. The Mad Lad himself. Could hit anything. We do have Blue Marvel, but I kind of want to see what Iron Lad is going to pick up. Either that or we go Blue Marvel here. But if we go Blue Marvel, then the Professor X here just beats us. Let's go Iron Lad. Iron Lad and see. So Professor X here is not safe. Professor X here, also not safe. Now, they could Spider-Man here. Let's see what they did. Space Stone. Ooh, so they can move one of their cards out into Luke's bar. That's big. Into the Shang Chi. Perfectly fine. The Ultron gives us the reach that we have been needing. With the Nebula, I don't anticipate them having a hard counter to that. Now, the bad thing is right now it looks like we lose this lane. It's hard for them to move anything out because they're only going to be winning this one by 2. And so I think the Blue Marvel here gives us the game. Let's lock in the Blue Marvel. If they don't retreat, this is huge. This is a huge swing in the last battle of the Gold Conquest run. I can't see them staying on a whim, though. Maybe they have Enchantress, but I don't see that being their last play in Crimson Cosmos. The Blue Marvel will give us that scalability in the right lane, and maybe they're thinking that since we already have Patriot, we can't really reasonably fit any other buffs, and so they have the right lane locked in. They just have to win Crimson Cosmos, and so all they have to do is slam a Thanos down, right? But that's not going to quite be the case. They do stick it out. Blue Marvel, what do they play here? Devil Dino is big in the and then the Space Stone again, giving them the extra reach in their Devil Dino, but it is not quite enough because the Blue Marvel is going to give us that lead in the flooded lane that they were relying on as a win lane, and so we will gladly take the 8 early, and that is a huge round 1 in this Gold Conquest match. Maybe we can bring this the rest of the way home. We do have to be cautious because this looks like very much like a control-heavy Thanos. I would imagine a Spider-Man. I would imagine a Professor X, and we have to dodge all those things. Washington, D.C. is a good start, though. We have to remember that they do have the Spider-Ham, but that's one of the reasons why we have the multiple big last turn plays in the Ultron and the Doctor Doom to lean in on. Wasp in Washington, D.C. I think that's going to be a prime target for a Reality Stone. If I was a betting man. They do retreat out of this one, hoping for a better one next time. And with the Thanos list, them not playing anything on 1 was huge at indicating that they didn't have a great starting hand because they have all the stones, they have their Spider-Ham and their Nebula, and they didn't play any of them. Is another reason why we were kind of encouraged to snap. And so now it is an all or nothing for them. Own Reveal in the left lane is big for their stones. That's huge for their stones. It's huge for maybe our Doctor Doom. They don't know we have the Killmonger yet, though. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. They have no idea that we have the Killmonger. I thought about doing Mr. Sinister into this unknown location, but I think we're gonna play it safe. Okay, so they have the Time Stone. Ooh, they could scam us this turn, right? Weird World gets weird. I thought it was Ego for a second. Ooh, we grabbed Initiative, yeah? Beautiful. Let's go ahead and throw down a Killmonger. We're going to take out their Nebula, take out their Time Stone. I think they're going to drop... Oh, I tried to snap. I think they're going to drop a Professor X here. That's what I would do, because then Nebula can scale. Nebula can continue to scale, giving me the advantage. But Killmonger is going to say otherwise. Now, they could do somewhere else, but that makes the most sense here. Ooh, they don't do the scam. They instead go 3 cards here. Storm is big. Storm plus something else. That's big. Okay. We do have the Ultron, though, to lean in on. And we have their Spider-Ham. Oh, they were needing to change. Oh, wow. They changed 2 of the locations into deep space, which removes the text. But this still does count, or should count, as a vanilla card. Let's go Brood here. Brood and Spider-Ham? Like a double Spider-Ham? Yeah, we're not going to be able to do both Invisible Woman plus Shang-Chi plus Ultron. So this is the line we're going to go with. We're going to go Brood in the right lane just to get some value, some reach, and then we're going to go double Spider-Ham, see what we hit. Okay, the Doctor Doom and the Doctor Doom once again. So you're not going to go double wide on me, my friend, which is what you were, I imagine, intending to do. We get our Doctor Doom. So, I mean, it's a double trigger. Even without the value, this is an extra 3, so we can win here. I think we do Invisible Woman just to kind of hide what we're doing on that last turn. Ooh, the Reality Stone. I didn't even think about the Reality Stone move because of the Space Stone. But they do cap that. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, that's big. I don't think we can win now. Patriot's not going to do anything. We're going to do Ultron just in case for some reason they don't have high power. but they do. They always do. That was beautiful. It's unfortunate, but beautiful. We will take the 1 cube. Prometheus is in a very big pickle here, though, because not only do they have to win 5, but getting to that high stakes rounds, they have to win 2 before that. And so they'll have to win 6 total in a row because of the 1 cube, and then it goes to 2 after the high stakes starts. Very tough to do. The time stone comes down, so I'm guessing that was their only stone, is really the only reason I see that being played as the starting card. Invisible Woman is big. If they do have the scam, maybe we go Invisible Woman, we'll go Brood into Mojo World then. This allows us to win Warrior Falls, because we'll be able to get power there technically after the Warrior Fall check runs. And so we'll see. They also play a Mind Stone, so if we drop our Killmonger, we can take this one out. Maybe we surprise it as a last turn. Surprise. Oh, in Mojo World. We're going to skip. All we have is Brood, and I don't want to play it in Pet Mansion. Okay, so the Storm into the Invisible Woman is also big. Let's do Iron Lad. That is going to 100%. No doubt about it. Actually, all we have to do is win Mojo World, so a Killmonger is really all we need to make sure we win this one. As long as they can't scam us out of this location. And they can't. They potentially could. Soulstone is big. Space Stone is big. They have all of their stones now. Spider-Ham hits our Ultron, which was one of our ways that we were going to go wide, but it wasn't what we were going to lean in on because of this Mojo World location. We do get Killmonger, so pretty big. They do have the scam on us, though. I think we're just going to do Brood. I think we just do Brood here. Next turn, we can do Killmonger and Mr. Sinister, maybe? Professor X in Mojo World is massive. But it is what it is. We have the Killmonger, so if they don't Professor X, then we can easily win Mojo World. But we'll see. There's the Professor X. There's the wheelchair pixel himself. He just looks so happy to use his powers. All right, so they do force this one. Iron Lad actually should win this location, but they win this one by 100. All right, what we're going to need here is a little bit of a miracle. So Killmonger, doesn't matter what we do. Killmonger's going to clear a lot from here. So we win this one regardless. What we need to happen is the 1 out of 3 Dr. Doom pool from the Iron Lad tucked away, hidden behind the Invisible Woman. That's what we need to happen. The Thanos is big. That is a beautiful variant as well of the Thanos. Let's take a look at it before it gets destroyed. That is the ultimate. That is a 5,000 token card there. Oh, wait, no, it's the weakest one's fight. Oh, my gosh. The Dr. Doom does come down, and we do get the 4 over there, so we do still win it, but I was thinking it was the Rickety Bridge and not Warrior's Fall. They look so similar, and they do such similar things that I get them confused all of the time. We will hold down the win against Prometheus. Very good game, my friend. The 8 cubes early was just incredibly unfortunate. That gave us that momentum to be able to bring that one the rest of the way home. We do close that one out in 4. Let's go ahead and we will see the Infinity Ticket. It feels good to finally grab another Infinity Ticket. It's been a couple of days since I've been able to farm one. I did run out of gold tickets, and so then I had to farm silver a little bit. Iron Lad Patriot is in a phenomenal spot, especially with the Silver Surfer being as common as it is. A lot of them have dropped the Cosmo, and that is where we can shine. If they don't have Cosmo, that is almost their only ticket to be able to stop us. And so we are going to go ahead and grab this Infinity Ticket. Thank you guys for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.